Hi everybody, I'm Kyla. I'm one of the MJC staff members, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to fill out the caption, which is this very top part of the stipulation to change form. Before we get started, just a reminder, as always, that nothing in this video is intended to be legal advice. So it is obviously a video and it can't tell you whether a stipulation is the right form for you to fill out, whether a court will accept your stipulation, or whether a stipulation makes sense or is in your best interest in your particular situation. So if you have any of those questions, we would recommend that you get legal advice. If you're here in Milwaukee County, you can get brief legal advice for free from the Marquette Volunteer Legal Clinics. If you're in another county, we would recommend consulting with your local clerk of court or family court commissioner's office to see what resources are available to get help in your area. All right, so getting on to our form here, the caption, as I mentioned, is the very top part of the stipulation form, and it's pretty easy to fill in. So this very top section right up here wants to know what county your case is located in, what county your case comes out of. So I'm going to put Milwaukee County because that is the county where the Justice Center is located and where most of our cases come out. Oops, made a little mistake there. So we've got that. This next portion wants to know what kind of case your order comes out of. So if your order comes out of a divorce case, you would want to check this marriage of box. And if your case comes out of anything other than a divorce, so if it came out of a paternity case where a court did DNA testing to determine who the child's father was, or if it comes out of a case where somebody signed a voluntary acknowledgement of paternity, or a support and maintenance case that has happened while you're married but no longer living in the same residence. For any of those situations, and really anything other than a divorce, you're going to check this paternity box here. If you check that paternity box, you're going to put in the child's initials. So in our case, the child in this sample case is named Sally Smith. So I'm going to put SS in that box, the child's initials. The next part we have here in the caption is this section that wants to get the information for the petitioner. And the petitioner is always going to be the person whose name went first in your original case, your original court filing. So if it's a divorce case, if your order comes out of a divorce case, this is going to be the person who filed for divorce originally. If you and your spouse filed together as joint petitioners, this is going to be the person whose name was listed first on the original petition that you filed in your divorce, and that person would have been joint petitioner A, so you would have called them joint petitioner A all the way through. If your case is a paternity case, most of the time you're going to have the mom's name first and the dad's name second. If you think that might not be true in your case, or if you want to double check, you can always find out the order of the names by looking at the original summons and petition in your case, or if you have a most recent order, typically that will have the names in the correct order as well. So here in our situation, it follows the rule that most paternity cases do, and the mom's name went first in the original filing. So we're going to put mom's name on this line, and that is Jane Doe. And in our situation, we're just going to put in a good mailing address for the petitioner here. So it can be a P.O. box, it can be a street address, just wherever the best place is for that person to receive mail. And you'll put in a city and state as well. And a good daytime phone number. And then here in this line, you're going to put in the respondent. So that's just the other parent in your case. In a divorce, it's going to be the person who was served with paperwork. In a paternity case, that's going to be the other parent. So typically that's going to be dad. But again, if you aren't sure of that, you can double check your original order. And in our case, that's John Smith. So I'm just going to enter his name. And we'll enter a good mailing address for the respondent as well. If you are filling these documents out on your own and you're going to take them to the other person to review and sign, it's okay if you don't have their address with you. You can have them handwrite in their address. And we'll put in John's phone number here as well. So we've got that there. So then over here, on the bottom section of the caption, it wants to know if the state of Wisconsin is a party in this case. And so if you're unsure if the state is a party in your case, you can contact your local child support agency and they can tell you whether the state is a party. Some other ways that you can find out if the state is a party in your case, you can look at your last court order and see if it says that there was a representative from the state of Wisconsin there. It might also say that your last order came because the state of Wisconsin filed a motion. Those things would be reasons that the state might be a party. Some other ways you might know if the state is a party is if the state has ever showed up at any of your hearings in the past. If there's been a lawyer who says they represent the state of Wisconsin, then the state is probably a party in your case. The state could also be a party in any situation where you have what we call assignable benefits. And that's just fancy lawyer language for when someone receives specific state benefits that make the state a party. So if somebody gets like W-2 childcare or something like that. So if you or the other parent in your case receive state benefits of any kind, we would recommend contacting your local child support agency to confirm whether or not those benefits are fall into that category of assignable benefits, those benefits that would make the state a party to the case. So in our situation, John and Jane do have a situation where the state is a party, so we're going to check that. And then you have two more pieces to finish the caption. Over here on the right-hand side, you can see we're going to check whatever things we want to talk about with this document. So I'm just going to run through real quick what all of them are. Legal custody, that's decision-making power here in Wisconsin. So custody is just deciding where the child goes to school, who their doctor is, whether they can get married or join the military, or any of those decisions that parents typically make about or for their children. It doesn't have anything to do with where the children live and who they spend time with. Physical placement is what you check if what you want to talk about is where the children live, who they spend time with, when they visit or spend time with the parent that they don't live with. So that's all going to fall under physical placement. Child support, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. Most people know what that is. Again, it's just a monetary payment, so a money payment made to help support minor children. Maintenance comes out of divorce cases. It's spousal support. It used to be called alimony. And it, again, will only happen in divorce cases. So if yours isn't a divorce case, then you wouldn't have maintenance in your case. Family support, just like maintenance, family support only comes up in divorce cases, and family support is a combination of child support and maintenance. The last of our set categories here is arrears payment or arrears balances. Arrears are back amounts of child support owed. So if I owe, say, $100 a month in child support and I miss that payment for a couple of months, I would owe arrears. That's what we call that debt that I owe. If you have something else that you want to include that doesn't fit into these categories, you can check the other box. The most common thing we see in this other box would be taxes. So if people are wanting to talk about who claims the minor children on their taxes, that could go there. But if you have something else that you want to do that doesn't fit into the categories, you could include that on that section as well. I'm going to check, for our purposes, legal custody, physical placement, child support, and the arrears balances, because as I go through all of the sample videos we're going to do on our website, you'll see that we're going to go through each of those sections that we see most commonly. But you should know you only need to check the ones you want to talk about. So if you and the other parent, your ex, are just wanting to talk about arrears, you only check arrears. If you just want to talk about child support, just check child support. If you want to talk about placement and child support, just check those two. So you only need to check the ones you want to talk about. So the very last thing we want to do to finish filling out this caption is to put in the case number. And the case number is something that you can get from your local child support agency, and it's going to follow the format of it's going to be number, and then there'll be two letters, either an FA or a PA, and then there are going to be 6 numbers after the FA or the PA. So for example, in John and Jane's case, they could be 18 PA 000 sometimes when you get this case number from your child support agency, it will have two numbers on the front of that case number. So here in Milwaukee, you might get a case number that looks like 4018 PA. And what that 40 is it's a county code. So it tells the child support agency what county the case is located in. But since the courts only have access to their own county's records, they don't have statewide records like the child support agency, you don't need to include that on the stipulation, and in fact you don't want to include it. So we'll go ahead and take that off. Some people will find at the end of their case number they have the letters PJ. PJ stands for post-judgment, and if you have that PJ at the end of your case number, you'll want to include it. All right, well that's it for filling in the caption. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. And if it wasn't, or if you have additional questions about how to fill in this section or other sections of the stipulation form, then you can come into the Milwaukee Justice Center, located in G9 of the Milwaukee County Courthouse.